700 more meters to the top. 170 meters of elevation gain. I'm laughing now. Woo, baby. Come on. Hey, Stuart here. Let's find out how's the hike on Jasper's iconic and world famous Skyline Trail. Well, here we go. This is one of those hikes that I've been asked to do a bunch of times for the channel and had a little gap, little window, and wouldn't you know it, I was able to get on. Not quite the trip I would have planned due to sold out campsites, but we'll do the 3-night version and I'll take you through that, as I always do, a little later on, trip planning wise. So a pretty short day for me, just heading to Little Shovel tonight. I think that's what, about 8K? Well, we'll know in a bit. And then on to, I think Curator, and then to Cara after that. So not too many long days. I think the longest day is the last day, which is basically fire road walking down to Signal. So off we go on the Skyline. Nice little day hike in here. Maligne Lake. Oops, there we are. And Little Shovel, 6'2". I mean, early day for me, but that's all right. I knew that. Had to get down to this end of the lake, which I'll explain later in trip planning, but get into camp early and rest up for what's ahead. Another spot that would be nice for a day hike if you're just out here for a couple of days, Maligne Lake, right here, 2.4 from the trailhead. So a couple of nice day hike options on this very well maintained trail. Let me show you. Oh, so as you know, most of my experience in Jasper is in the non-maintained sections. This is quite something. The sign of interest here. Okay, Bald Hills Trail. Looking pretty forested in. Up that way. Let's go look at this. I'm gonna say this is Evelyn Creek. Am I right? Well, glad there's a bridge here. Let's have a look at this beauty. Yes, Evelyn Creek, here's the camp. Won't give you a full tour, although it'll be a logical place for a break. Wow, that's a Jasper picnic table type I've never seen before, although I've seen the bear lockers before. Here's a little map of camp. This will help you out. There it is. Evelyn Creek. That's funny. I just had a little break down there, and then the trail goes that way and then curves around, switchbacks, and comes right through the camp. Huh. Ah, Stu. 10 pads are up in there. Some of them are more lumpy than others, which is always a good reason to get into camp early. You get the one you want. Of course, I had to do that with the girls. We used to have that giant 4-person hotel tent. I was more nervous then just about finding a place. Now, it's just finding a place that is relatively comfortable. Coming into camp and to see some people. So, once I get set up, I'll show you around. A little quick tour of the tent area. That's tent pad number 8, the most secluded. And these are tent pads here as well. Pretty good angle on them. I've actually tucked in to what I think is probably the best spot for me tonight. A little bit of tree cover if it's frosty. Of course, uneven ground, but not a bad tent pad and perfect for me, and very, very private. Of course, this is another one here. And I'll walk a bit. I won't bore you with that. But we're going to head down this way, and I'll show you the water source, the eating area, the outhouse, and the other tent area. So that's next. Back to the other tent area. There's a pad here, one there. Already somebody set up down there, which I thought was interesting. And then there's another one kind of tucked in behind here. I may be able to show it to you as we come up to the eating area. Yeah, right down in there. So, and eating area is down here as I showed you. Just coming down here, oh yes. Here it is, folks. Here it is, the famous Jasper Stadium seating. Let's have a look at this fun. This is where, yes, there we are. Okay, let me just swing around here. You get the full display. This is where you and your friends can sit and discuss how last night's dinner came out. Sorry, I had to say it. Yeah, I don't know. That's one of the crazier designs. Now, water. Here's the water source, right by camp, right by the eating area. Super clean, and plenty of it. Let's show you, there's the trail, there's the eating area, and that was the water source. Okay, let's do some quick trip planning talk. Really leisurely day for me today, and I thought I'd take a moment before I got too busy here to share with you just my trip plans and how I was able to actually book them. And I'll be quick about this because there's tons of information available on Skyline. It's one of the most famous trails in the world, really, and I was lucky to get on it, and I'll touch on that in a second. Day one was easy. Let's just call it right around 8 kilometers. There's some discrepancy between the Canadian Rockies trail guide and what I tracked. You'll always see what I tracked here on the video. Tomorrow about 12 to Curator, and then down, and then the next day up over the notch, another 12 to Takara, and 14 out on the following day. I took the 3-night route because I could and because I had the time, and that's the thing. I had the time. I thought, well, why not make them leisurely days? Had I had my options, I would have gone to Snowbowl tonight, but then it probably would have kept Curator and Takara, or maybe stretched Takara to Signal, although I've heard it's not the greatest place to spend the night. It's just, not much going on there. But I was able to book this trip. We cut a trip short that we were on, and I was like, well, what am I going to do? And I got on Skyline with 2 days' notice. And why? Because somebody canceled their booking. And that's what I'm going to say right now. Please always, sorry, mosquitoes, please always cancel your bookings. Even Parks Canada doesn't really incentivize booking cancellations because you don't really get, depending where you are in the process, you lose some money, you don't maybe not get it all back, things like that. But that doesn't matter. Do it for your fellow hikers. The reason I'm out here is because somebody canceled and actually went and pressed the buttons on the Park Canada website or made the phone call or stopped in. So we do know over the years, we've all talked about it, walking through campsites that were supposed to be sold out. They're not. Obviously, people aren't canceling their bookings, but it's a really nice thing to do for your fellow hikers. And that's why I'm on Skyline right now, because I had the time and there was availability. And I think that's really cool. So I'm pretty excited to see this beast. I've never done it. I don't typically do these really popular trails because I come out for peace and quiet. But I have a lot more time this summer and a lot of different videos that you'll see on the channel, including some of the more popular ones and some overnights and some long, epic, typical how's the hike. How long is this video we have to watch? 2-hour videos and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, super peaceful afternoon. One tent over there. Another guy just came in and joined me kind of way out back. But I picked a really quiet spot. And so I'm going to go enjoy that. And then you know the drill. It'll be supper time. Just had a nice supper. Some folks at an adjoining table lent the 2 gentlemen and I a little piece of a mosquito coil, which is wonderful. It's buggy. I do a lot of these remote hikes, as you know, but I've always had great experiences too on these more busy ones. Meeting people and camaraderie and telling stories and hearing stories. And so, there's always something positive out here, whether you're alone in the middle of nowhere or on one of the busier trails meeting people. Really cool. I love all the experiences. Talk about that this summer at some point, the difference between solo and group backpacking and things like that, but not tonight. At this point, I'm going to head back to the tent, get organized, and the two gentlemen I had supper with, a couple of Z-Packs tents. It's like, look at this, it's like a Z-Packs village. All right, wrapping it up in just a flash. Well, wrap on day one of the Skyline, and it was an easy one. I have to say I could have kept going, but it felt good, and I'm excited to get up bright and early tomorrow morning and go see the sights. So we'll call it a day, and in 5 seconds, day 2. Well, for you anyway. Right now, I'm going to go have some shut-eye. See you in the morning. Oh, good morning. Day 2. I'll be right with you. We should have a movie playing, don't you think, if we're going to have the stadium seating, a little movie theater? I couldn't resist, I'm sorry. Good morning, it's day 2, officially. I'm underway and I'm already huffing and puffing because we're going uphill. First milestone of the day, Little Shovel Pass. Interesting story there, which I'll link down below, about Mary Schaefer and the Otto brothers, courtesy of the Canadian Rockies Trail Guide. You know, you always wonder how these things get named. I mean, there's enough moose passes and moose lakes and glacier passes to choke a horse. But Little Shovel, Big Shovel, it's a cool story. Linked below. This is also cool. A bluebird. Oh, baby, let's go. Pretty easy to see where we're going. Oh, it's zoom in again here. Maybe you can catch it right up there. Always look behind. First milestone of the day. Although Gaia says the campsite is 2.6 kilometers from this point. Now, Canadian Rockies Trail Guide says 2 kilometers, and I know Parks now has been referring to that for a lot of trails, which they should. But things do change out here and get rerouted, so hard to say, but 2 to 2.6, pretty big discrepancy. Either way, Little Shovel Pass. What a morning. I mean, look around. Oh, baby. Woo-hoo-hoo. Not too far from Snowbowl campsite. This is where I would typically plan to come on night 1. It's not a hard walk at all. An easy one, to be honest. I found the trail to be in great shape and pretty easy to walk. But you take the bookings that you can get. So that's the next milestone, and then on to, I think, Big Shovel Pass. So let's go see what this all looks like. So far, it's been a stunning morning. Oh my, oh my. No sooner did I say it than do we arrive. I won't go down in because there's folks there enjoying their day, and I always respect people's privacy, but the campsite is down that way. Bear boxes are up that way, and I'm standing on the trail. I'm going to show you the map. There it is. There it is. Snowbowl. On this gorgeous bluebird morning. This your typical night 1. Couldn't resist showing you this just a bit further up the trail. If you can see, these are actually tent platforms. And that's interesting to know because I'm in a Z-Packs duplex, which requires a lot of stakes. That said, I'm now always carrying the freestanding pole kit for the Z-Pax Duplex because I don't know what I'm going to run into. A little extra weight, but if I'd showed up here last night, I would have been glad I had them, to be honest. So I'm always good maybe to bring a few nails. I don't know. Okay, last clip for Snowbowl, but there are some tent pads here that are not on platforms. So there's tent pad number 5, for example. So you may have options unless they decide to do platforms. I know that during the big snowstorm here this year, where 60 centimeters got dumped on Maligne Lake in June, the trail crew was up here doing work. So anyway, just be aware. Just another look backwards from where we've walked together this morning. Well, the Canadian Rockies trail guide, spot on. There's plenty of water in this meadow as we head toward Curator, and it's crystal clear. I took a little break back there and spent some time cleaning my bee-free filter in this clear water. It makes a huge difference. 30 seconds makes a huge difference in the flow rate. So when you find some clean water, if your flow is a little slow, doesn't matter what filter you're using, take the time during a break to clean it. A lot less frustrating. All right, let's hop some rocks. And we're across. Thank you for your help. Pretty steady climb. I don't know if I can show you this. I'm going to try to zoom in. Yeah, there's the trail way up there. Just kind of in the middle of the frame. I'll point. Whoops, sorry for the shaky video. It's right up there. Oh, that said, it is gradual. Little shot of Curator Mountain. Camp is over that pass and then down around the other side of it. I can see somebody sitting at the top of the pass. It'll be pretty hard for you to make out here. But I get you to the right place. Anyway, yeah, still a little work to do, Stu. Let a couple guys pass me in the uphill. Taking my time. A little more work to do. You can kind of see. Let me zoom in. Kind of see the marker up there. Big Shovel Pass. Hello. How are you, little man? Or little lady? What's going on? Another milestone. Big Shovel Pass. Nice. And there's one last look back. Panning left from Curator Mountain. Back to today's work. Completed. Little more to do. You can see along the right side of the ridge the trail. I'll zoom in for you here. Can you catch that? It's tough to see, it's faint, but it's down there. And of course, Curator camps can be straight ahead down there. There is a shortcut you can take, not official, but I can see the path. Like there's a path that cuts straight down that way. That would take me to camp. However, I'm going to go this way, stay on the trail, and get my miles in, because I have to show you every step. Okay, I had to stop again, pardon the shaky camera and the haze, but right out here, you can catch this, right up there, Marmot Basin Ski Hill. And on a good day, that would be much clearer and less shaky. There it is. Wow, wow. Great view. Almost to the watchtower cutoff, and there's the, if you're on the GDT, go 800. Nice job. Another reason I wanted to come this way is to see this intersection to Watchtower. Good access point, actually, if you can get across the river. And, you know, that's a warning sign they have to put here, but, you know, check your water levels. The river can, sometimes it's almost bone dry. So, Just depends. But yeah, pretty cool intersection. You can kind of see the trail way up there. I'd show you that valley, which is supposed to be stunning, but well, let's save that for another time, because it's actually a valley I've always wanted to come up, so pencil that in, bookmark it. But my goodness me, woof. Oh, I know I've mentioned this in other videos, but out here in the barrenness, look how life just kind of springs out of nowhere. You know, that's something. It does get a bit sketchy through here, almost to the intersection of the campsite Curator, and there's a couple big cairns there, because you can see not much way to pick your way through here till you get past those cairns. You can see down there, probably I'll zoom in the intersection, and some people sitting having a break who are, I'm assuming, carrying on. So I'm going to head down there and show you that, and then head down to camp. Another early day, but I'm happy. It's, oh man, it's amazing. All right, here's the intersection I promised you. Curator says 1 kilometer, it's 800 meters. Although, let's have a look. Let's hope it's 800 meters, because I have to come up it tomorrow morning. And the notch, 2K that way. Tomorrow morning, another notch in the belt. Just talked to some guys back there, kind of in the same position I'm in. It's early in the day, and here's Curator. So now I'm going to get up super early tomorrow morning, because I know there's rain coming, maybe thunderstorms, as I've mentioned, I think. So I don't mind an early afternoon and get in and get out. And you know, it'll be a big climb. The notch is full of snow, no big deal, but it takes time, right? 2K from that sign I just showed you to the notch. So I am going to tuck down in here in Mosquitoville for the night. Not going to get wasted away again. That's not what we do, but I don't blame them for thinking going further. I feel really strong right now. I could easily go to Takara today, you know? In fact, if I got to Takara and it was full house, you know what? Try Signal. That puts a pretty long day on you, but when you feel good, you want to keep walking. But when you get your reservation, I mean, I feel lucky to be on Skyline with such a last-minute booking, so I'll stick to my permit today. If tomorrow's really terrible, I may go further past Takara. We'll see what happens later in the day. I could walk out if I had to. Would it be 26K? But I could if it was just miserable. So that's an option. But anyway, that's enough of that. Let's go down here and have an awesome afternoon at Curator. I'm going to show you around when we get there. Coming into Curator, and yes, it is 1 kilometer. So they've obviously done some rerouting, and I've seen that now when referencing the CRTG versus what Parks Canada has on their signs, and that would indicate some rerouting. Eating area, bear boxes, 8 tent pads. We're going to go find a quiet one, maybe with some water rushing by. And there's the map. I think I'll head somewhere where I can get a water sound, a little white noise tonight. That'd be awesome. Once I do, I'll show you. Hi there, are you my welcome committee? Right by my tent, aren't you? What are you doing down there? What you doing down there? I'm trying to go in, but then, oh, and now I made it in. Yeah, so the tent pad I've picked is right here. Actually, it kind of almost sounds like there's babies down there or something, so I don't know. Anyway, just give me a second. From here, I'll show you camp. Little shot around camp. I've taken pad number 8. Seemed to be the flattest. I've got a beautiful clear running stream here that's being fed by the waterfalls coming off Curator Lake, which I can see, boom, from my tent, and I can hear them. I wanted some white noise tonight. It was gorgeous and quiet last night, but this is spectacular. Curator. It's going to be a little bit of a hike to get out of here tomorrow. It is 1 kilometer back up and then 2 more to the notch. So 3K of straight uphill. Hello, sweetie. How's it going? Yeah, so I think she's nursing mom, and she's got some babies under this rock here. So I'm going to be very careful and watch my stuff, because they love to chew. They do love to chew. Now, little river ford, and I'll show you the rest of camp. A couple more tent pads here. These aren't bad either. I wouldn't be surprised if those gentlemen last night who I had great conversations with might come back here and tuck in, because there are two of them and they are the flatter of the pads. I'll try to be quick here and show you these other tent pads along the way. I mean, they're, like I said, they're mounded, so that helps preserve these in the rain, which we'll talk about a little later as I kind of wind up the day. Now, before we get to the rest of the tent pads, here's the outhouse, the privy, the grand stadium. Also reminds me of a shoe shine stand in an airport. There she is. Sit with your buddies. I'm not going to say the joke again, but listen, do they expect you to use one till it's full and then move to the second, then to the third? I mean, that makes more sense. Like, there's no way they expect you to go down there together. Bit of a race, I suppose. Who can finish first? All right, that's enough jokes about the stadium seating. Although, you know, listen, there's no good option out here except digging yourself a cat hole. That is the best option. So, there are your tent pads. And now a quick peek this way. Eating area has a lovely view of the falls. And of course, your bear storage area, the old bear hang, survived a fire, but did not survive innovation with the new bear boxes, which are extremely convenient. They really are extremely convenient. So, a couple other remnants of another old bear hang there. And obviously some supplies here for the trail crew. So, that's it. Curator, I am pleasantly surprised. Bugs are pretty good so far. Little campfire haze building in because of the wildfires in the area. But, yeah, this is a winner. A little work to get here and to get out, but definitely worth considering when you're planning the Skyline. All right, better head back to my tent and get everything inside, so there's no chewing from our little friend over there. Well, I have to admit I was giggling like a kid all day. I mean, holy moly, one scene after another. I shot a lot of video, which I'm going to make you see when I edit it, but I just giggled. I giggled all day, and it's just, what a spectacular hike. I can't believe I waited until now to do it. But the truth is, you know, when you're planning trips from the East Coast, there's a lot of logistics and expense and flights and cars and all kinds of stuff. And, you know, I tended to go for the longer trips to kind of fit in as much as I possibly could. I mean, you could have strung trips like this together, like a few short ones and stuff. But I don't know. I just kind of went for the remote kind of long ones. But now, with a little more time this summer, unexpectedly, I get to do this. And it's just fantastic. Oh, there's the bugs climbing. Oh, did they go across the screen? Maybe. Anyway, weather-wise, weather forecast has improved. Might get some rain tonight. Do expect that in these mountains every night because it's pretty common. Then tomorrow, some guy said, oh, it's going to start raining heavy at noon. Well, I just pulled the weather down. It doesn't show that at all, but who knows? So I'm going to stick with my plan of getting up early, a kilometer up the hill here and then 2 kilometers up to the notch and navigate the snow and stuff, and to probably have another early night. Although if I feel good, I might just keep going. We'll see what happens. But look at this piece of paradise. Yes, go ahead and giggle. It's okay. I'm an old guy, and I giggled all day at this. It is just spectacular. Well, here's my view from my tent tonight. Nobody's tucked into these two sites beside me, but it's still early. It's not even 6 o'clock yet. I've just actually finished my supper because I'm going to try to get sleepy early, maybe take a melatonin or something, and get up early and hit the notch. The weather is supposed to be all right now in the forecast, but why not get up early and get at it? That's kind of my motto. I'm awake anyway. I just toss and turn and dream and, you know, drift back to sleep. So why not head off? Had a nice supper. Tomorrow, what is it, about 12 kilometers to Takara. And if the weather holds, that's where I'm going to stop for the night. But out of here to the notch, 3 kilometers, 438 meter elevation gain. Yeah. So that's going to be a fun way to start the day. But the payoff will be spectacular. The guys that I've been chatting with, I don't shout out names anymore. It's a long story. I'll share sometime. But B and D, the guys I've been talking to each night, just wonderful fellas, gentlemen. I hope you watch this. They saw a grizzly bear today. just after I came through, they came through, and they saw, I think, a young male chasing a marmot or something. So when is that going to happen for me? Careful what you wish for. Oh, I've got my little marmot and I think her baby's over here. So last thing I want to say, I've talked about this earlier today, so let me just wrap this up. Why haven't I hiked this trail before? I just figured it out. We were just talking to the guys, and I shared some thoughts with you earlier about planning these big trips. The reason I didn't really put Skyline on the list, you could never book it. So when you're coming from the East Coast with all the logistics and the expense and the bookings and stuff, you need to know where you're going. And the year we didn't do the North Boundary, I was lucky to get us on Brazeau and Sawback to replace those 2 weeks we have booked. But typically, you know, when this goes live on the park site, it fills up for the whole summer. So as I said earlier in the video, do cancel your reservations, because it'll allow guys like me who might have a little small window to get out here and enjoy this absolutely stunning place. Wow, I don't know what to say. What a day I've had. I'm kind of high, I think, from it. Just spectacular. And I don't know if you've ever seen this side of me before, but it was amazing. And then I came here by this little stream, and the sun came out, and I was in my tent, and I just closed my eyes, and it was just pure, honestly, serenity, peace. I actually said out loud to myself, I said, wow, this is amazing. And it really was. So just an awesome day, and I'm really stoked to get back on the trail tomorrow. Although, check in with me at about kilometer 1.5 up the hill. We'll get there. We'll get there. Anyway, 5 seconds for you, overnight for me. I'll see you in the morning. Good morning. It's the day of the notch. And I'm up bright and early. I was up around, 20 to 6. It's just after 6 now. I'm almost packed up. And it'll be a quick getaway because the weather has changed. There's always a way out here. I pulled it down this morning, and yeah, by about 2 o'clock, pretty good chance of precipitation. So once I get a little further on, I'll pull it down again in more detail. And, you know, in the back of your mind, you're thinking, if it's going to rain all afternoon and all evening and into tomorrow, maybe I'll just keep going. I don't know. These are the things you think of when you're fresh, bright and early in the morning. Not the greatest sleep, tossed and turned a lot. Maybe I'm just itching to go. I don't know. And the good thing about it, no real condensation on my Z-Packs tent. So that's a good thing. Yeah, no condensation this morning. That's a very, very rare occurrence, but I'll take it. So, lovely spot to wake up. And I'm going to keep it down here. Keep it quiet because everybody else is still asleep. But look at that. Little breakfast and off we go. All right, here we go. 3K straight uphill to the notch. It's only the first K I'm not really excited about because it's coming out of the campground. Once I get back on the trail, well, that's going to be fun. Even though it's going to be uphill, lots to see. This may take a while. Bear with me. Easy from the wildfighters, Edith. Hard to see you this morning. I made pretty quick work of that, to be honest. All right, back to the trail. There it is. 2K to the prize for today. And I'm excited about it. Oh, man. Well, hello there. Let's get a zoom in for you. One more time. There's the goal. Just listen. Nothing. Wow. Sun's starting to come up over the ridge, and I can tell by the color on the ground that there's a lot more fire smoke in the air than I can see right now with my naked eye. I can see it, of course, but not going to get the best views up here, unfortunately, but that's okay. It'll still be spectacular. And that's reality out here now, I mean, every year. So if you get out here on clear days, consider yourself super lucky. But yesterday was just ridiculously amazing. And already this morning, it's just amazing. How many times do you think I'll say that in this video? Oh boy, though. I don't know if you can see this, but there is work to be done. I just checked Gaia. 700 more meters to the top. 170 meters of elevation gain. I'm laughing now. Woo, baby. Come on! Looking back through the rearview mirror. Wow. Huffing and puffing. But there's a prize. Okay. Listen, before we go see this view, let me just turn around. There's a trail that goes here to the left. Take it. So when I was coming up, I took one to the left. Don't do it. The trail is to the left as you come this way, or to the right if you're coming from Curator. All right. I know it's smoggy and smoky, but let's have a look at this. Yes, I'm panting. Oh, if only it was a clear day. Well, shoot. But that doesn't diminish it. My God, look where we're going. Oh my goodness. I hope you can see that. Trailhead's 22, Takara 83. Signal campground somewhere in between. I'm going to sit here and see if I can get some cell service and fix my Garmin and check the capacity tonight's signal, just in case. The Notch, all the way from down there. My goodness, this place is ridiculous. Follow the yellow diamonds. Just chatting with a nice couple from Spain up there. Young lady says she thought it would be harder. Yeah, you know what? It's not that hard. I mean, it's well maintained, and yeah, there's some steep climbs and stuff, but you know, a lot of new hikers do this trail, so you can see why. I mean, it's just spectacular. Oh, yeah. Okay, trip update. Picked up some cell service, checked the reservations at Signal tonight, which is really not a premium campsite, but close to my car. And I've got another trip coming up in a couple of days, so I emailed them and said, I'm going to skip Takara and go to Signal. Please make note of the reservation. I sent it to 3 different email addresses and I know it'll get through, so no big deal. I would never want to step on someone's permit. It's just something that's ingrained in me. So anyway, always call the park or let them know what you're going to do. Typically there are no issues. But with some rain incoming, I think that's a good plan, and it's 8:30 in the morning at the Notch. So I was also able to log into Garmin. There's an email coming for those folks. Why would you log me out in the middle of a hike? So everything's fixed and we're good, and I feel great. So a little longer day today, and I have no problem with that. I feel like $1 million. So let's go. Let's see what we can see up here. Still a little work to do. Lucky me, I'm going to stay on top of this ridge for quite a while. But let's just have a look to my right here in a second. Oh my God. Okay. Wait for it. Wait for it. Let's just go over here for a sec. Look at this. Oh my God. The hits just keep on coming. Why am I not going that way? Look at that. Wow. A series of large mounds of rock, we'll call them cairns, you know, going out that way as we stay up on this ridge. But again, oh, that's even better. Look at that. You gotta be kidding me. Just frig. I'm gonna linger here a minute or two. Pretty sure that's Excelsior Creek. It goes down to the Maligne River. And that's a stunning valley, actually. When I get off the trail, I'll have to see if there's any way to trail up it. That'd be kind of cool. spot. This ridge is amazing. It's like being on top of the world. Kind of makes you feel that way too. And it's early in the morning, so I've got a full day of amazingness. More of the same valley, but a much different perspective. Look at that snow lingering on. I'm gonna say there's some cornice there, folks. Don't walk out on it. That's the Excelsior Creek, I think I said earlier, if I can remember. Wow. Yeah, watch out for snow like that. No doubt, some cornice. And that would not be good if you walked out there and broke that cornice off. I'm on the top of the world looking down at creation. Yeah, that's my whole life's a song. This is pretty cool for a guy whose toes occasionally tingle at heights. This is really amazing. Oh, I said it again. Oops. I need a new descriptor. One last lingering panorama before I peek out. Doing my best. Lots of smoke over there. Can't even see it really this morning. But still stunning. Oh, look. Man, let's keep going. One heck of a view here. I'm going to stop up here and zoom in and show you the trail. Just give me a second to get down this. There's a bit of scree and well, I mean, the trail's fine, but if I start looking at the camera of the trail, I'm going to be off into the scree. So I'm going to zoom in. So, okay, first of all, I'm going down that way. I think that's Takara Lake. The campsite's just beyond it. You can see the trail down there going to it. But then, look, the trail switchbacks up the hill, comes across some more, and comes down this way. So we skirt this ridge. Where's my little thing? Yeah, skirt this ridge and then down to get down to head to Takara, which is just down that way. Fascinating being able to see where you're going so far off in the distance. And I really wish video showed the scope and size of this, because it is massive. Just epic. One of these things is not like the other. That. How'd you get here, big fella? Across the water here. Lovely little break. Been really taking a break. I've gone quite a ways for quite a while, so you get into a groove. You just keep walking. You know, no big deal. But you have to remind yourself: sit down, hydrate, have some food. It will catch up with you eventually. So, right down to Takara Lake, next milestone, and looks like a gorgeous walk. Just watching this group of marmots over here running around. Oh, yeah, whistling and running. Speaking of marmots and her baby. Of course, different ones, but I gotta walk this way. I don't want to disturb them. They will scatter. Morning. Oh, clean up. Yep, clean your baby. Yeah, clean the baby. Just me. Can I come through? They don't seem too worried about me. Get those fleas, those ticks. I'm gonna come through now. Is that okay? All right, you wander off that way. Take your baby. There you go. Good girl. Well, this is going to be one of those quiet shots. How pretty it is. But look, it's just a marmot festival here. That would be Takara, the lake. Campsite just beyond a bit. I'm going to show you that in a sec. This is interesting. There must be a story behind it. Anybody knows? Post it below. Although, if I turn to the right slowly, I can see there was a campsite of some sort here, random, I guess, and they felt the need to put that there. Interesting. Coming into Takara, map for your course, and oh boy, this is going to be an issue for a lot of people with a Z-Pax duplex. Now look, they've put cleats in, but how much rope would you need? This is new here on the Skyline, and I don't blame them for doing it. These are obviously engineered wood, which is basically what we'll call plastic. But yeah, if you have a semi-freestanding tent or something like a Z-Pax or a tarp tent that uses trekking poles, this is a huge problem. A huge problem, or could be. I noticed the same thing on the Nipisiguit-Micmac Trail in New Brunswick, where I had to start employing nails. So yeah. Go back this, oh, the outhouse is that way. It's going to be a stadium. And then, well, let's go look at the eating area, and we'll go from there. Yeah, super challenging and kind of an impediment for a lot of tents. Still some old dirt tent pads here, which is helpful for the reason I just stated. I would expect they will replace them all at some point with the engineered wood. Because I said it does make sense, but I sure hope they let people know to bring extra rope or something. You wouldn't want to start nailing into that stuff. I'm sure the park wouldn't like that, but like you've got to secure your tent. And finally, coming into the eating area along the drainage, which will be your water source, of course. And we'll have a look at that real quick. Uh-oh, somebody had an illegal fire. Uh-oh, somebody left placemats. Oh, another illegal fire. Holy moly. What's going on here? Right. Yep, there's your water source, nice and clean. There are your bear boxes, all 8 of them. So, I'm going to take a little break and ponder my next moves. But oh, more garbage over there. Looks like somebody took a poop. Lovely. This is what happens when you're close to the trailhead. Underway. Why do I say that all the time? I don't know. Here we go. Just one last look. Yes, look at that. Takara. Thank you, Takara. Little rock hop, and then I'm going to refill some water, which I failed to do. And the next milestone will be, well, Signal Campsite. And about 5.9 or 6K. A little bit of climbing to do, unfortunately, before that. I don't want to be a negative Nelly on such an awesome hike, but boy, Takara, that wasn't a great place to spend time. It felt dirty. Well, it was dirty. Let's just be honest. People left behind a lot of stuff. And you know, when you're in a campsite like that in bear country and people are so sloppy, you start to wonder. But anyway, it all worked out. I just, yeah, what a shame, folks. Come on. Look at this place. Anyway, that's enough of that, but it's just disappointing. That said, I loved Curator. I really did. I thought that was a great campsite. A little bit of work to get there and back, but it felt really like, you know, wild. Really cool. This hill is not really wild, however. I thought it was mostly downhill. Still climbing. Good exercise. Think of the shape I'll be in. No, really, actually. A little more to do. Haven't peeked out yet, but on a clear day, what a view that would be down there of the river. I can see it with the naked eye. You probably barely get that on video. Stunning. God, when am I peeking out? Not for a while, because I can see the trail way up there. What a climb, and not expected really. I guess I should have paid a little more attention to Gaia, but ooh. Oh, I think I've peaked. There we go. Now downhill. Next to Milestone Signal campsite. Wouldn't be much point in going up to Signal Mountain today, because, you know, the smoke is, I mean, my eyesight's doing pretty well, but you'd never pick it up on camera. And frankly, I don't need another climb. 18 kilometers into my day. So let's get to Signal and see what's going on. Well, this is a good sign. Pardon the pun, I know I'm terrible. Dad jokes, right? This is a good sign. Let's have a look. Should be Signal, actually. Yeah, there's a fire road going to my right. So, all right, fire road. Something for what? Bicycles? Maybe? And let's have a look here. Oh, Signal Mountain Summit. I said earlier, no point in going up at 900 meters because, well, it's smoky. Let's go to the campsite for a minute and talk about that. I've got an inkling in my head. And if you know me, you know exactly what I'm thinking. Let's go discuss. All right, here we go. 200 meter spur trail up to the campsite. And the trailhead's about 8K, which is 2 hours for me typically. And now I'm thinking I might go all the way to the end. I've been inspired by some people I was hiking with. So little big difference in age, but the car's there and it's 2 hours and it's 1 o'clock. So let's go look at the campsite and we'll decide. Okay, we're gonna walk and talk. I sat and had a little break. And I know I love you, but I didn't want to walk up 200 meters on that dirt road to show you a camp that you'll probably never stay at anyway, just because it's there. So I apologize for that. And I say you would never stay there anyway because I've decided not to stay there anyway. 8 o'clock clicks down the hill on this old fire road to the car. It was 1 o'clock when I got to the spur trail. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm Stuart. I go slow. I am booking it on this hike and I feel great. Now I'll be tired later. It'll be 26 kilometers, but I'll be back at my car and I'll go find a shower. And that'll feel great too. Maybe a non-alcoholic beer, like fizzy, yummy. By the way, there's one in Calgary now that's a non-alcoholic beer that when I was living in Banff for a while, yeah, I couldn't tell the difference flavor-wise. They're getting so good at that. And I don't partake anymore much, so it's a lovely substitute to get that social feeling as well, right? So anyway, enough of that, we're going. Let's go to the car. Oh God, help me. 26 kilometers down this though, all the way downhill on this tedious fire road, as Brian Patton calls it. I call it easy walking at the moment. So 2 hours, I'd say, for 8K, probably. Let's see if we can beat that. Cruising along here at almost 5 kilometers an hour. A couple things about downhill walking that just came to mind that I thought I'd share, and you probably know this, but if you don't, here you go. Good for the heart rate, hard on the knees for some of us, hard on other part. We're using a whole different muscle set, right? And you tend to be landing a little harder. So you have to kind of watch that. And the main thing to watch is toe jams. Like your foot box of your boots, your toes can jam right in there. And, I mean, I've seen people lose toenails and all kinds of stuff because of improperly laced boots. Now mine are getting a bit loosey-goosey, which is what prompted this little clip. And I'm going to stop up here in a bit and relace them for downhill walking. Lots of great instructional videos on YouTube. The Army can teach you how to do it. There's lots of different lacing techniques depending on what you're going to be doing. And I'm going to employ one here in another kilometer or so, I think, just to be on the safe side. But there you go. Your tip for the day. Well, just about 2.5K to the car, booking it. In fact, the couple from Spain that I was mentioning earlier, we just hiked together for a while and talked about the 900-kilometer pilgrimage that we all know about in Spain. And Olivia had just mentioned this to me like a week ago. So what do you think, girls? 900K in Spain? Wouldn't that be something? Just amazing. I also want to say hi to B and D. Remember, we're not giving names out. I'm going to tell that story right now before I forget to do it this summer. But anyway, I want to say hi to B and D. Enjoyed meeting you guys, really. And you saw a grizzly bear, and I'm really upset about that because I didn't. So I also want to say hi to, I hope I've got the right first initial, C. I met you. You're a solo backpacker from Calgary with an amazing backpack. And met you at, I think it was Little Shovel. Always nice to see girls out hiking alone and solo. So good for you. And if you ever want to hike, anybody that has a Gossamer Gear backpack, I'll hike with you. Just let me know. A subscriber, and it was a funny story actually. I'm going to tell this story real quick. So it happens once in a while. You're out here, someone will watch the video, and they recognize this voice, and that's a sad thing, isn't it? Excuse me, because right now it's like smoke filled, but they recognize the voice. So so C, as I'll call you, she said to me, she goes, Stuart, hi Stuart. She said, hi Stuart. I'm like, what? So I turned around and she's a subscriber. And the funny story is, she thought I was in Yellowstone. She said, oh, I thought it was you, but you just posted you were in Yellowstone. Well, I was just in Yellowstone. But then I just posted before this hike that I'm in Jasper, and things are happening quickly for me this summer. So my friend and Scott and I went down to Yellowstone. Those videos, they're all up here at some point, sometime. They come out of order. I don't know which videos go up first. A lot of editing involved. So it's just a matter of which ones I can get finished and get up. So it's always nice to meet people that watch the videos and subscribers, and just feels like a big, happy community. And I'm glad to be a small part of that. And I hope the videos help you plan trips. And I mean, when we find out how's the hike, you know what I'm going to say. This is just... I mean, the spring in my step too. Like, I'm flying down this hill right now, and 26K day, and I feel great. I mean, being up at that altitude, seeing that scenery is completely exhilarating and invigorating. And look at this, it's a perma smile. So anyway, I just wanted to say hi to everybody that I met on the trail. There were others as well, but I didn't get your names. And again, I just appreciate you being part of the channel and saying hi on the trail. Don't be shy. I mean, heck, I was working in Banff, walking down the street on my day off, and somebody yelled out, hey, Stuart. And I forget your name, and I'm very sorry. But yeah, it was this gentleman and his wife and his kids. And we sat and stood and talked on Banff Avenue for a little while. I just think it's great. Now, quick, final thing, story. Yeah, so I used to do shout outs, and I still do them, and I'm doing them weirdly, as I just did, kind of in code. You guys know who you are. But yeah, so some guy eventually, he said, yeah, I love the video, but can you take the part out where you mentioned meeting me? And I'm like, well, why? I didn't tell my girlfriend I was going on a hike. I told her I was going away for work. I don't have any words for that, other than I wonder if they're still together. Oh dear, it's a funny world, isn't it? All right, speaking of funny worlds, 2.5 more K of that. But I'm almost there. Let's find out how's the hike. Don't know if you can tell on video, but I've got a butterfly escort. Oh, of course they just disappeared when I started the video. Oh, there's some more. Yeah, they're bringing me home. Don't let me step on you guys now. You're too cute. Little tiny butterflies. Yeah, look. Hope you got that on video. It's super cool. There it is, the parking lot. Well, there it is. Oh man, completed. How's the hike? I am still giddy. I don't know what's happened to me on this hike. I just got really excited and happy and energized. And look at me, 26K on the last day, and 2 nights on the Skyline, which typically you could do, but not the way I booked it. So to walk out, and I just feel great. I feel energized. I feel happy. And I'm glad you came along for the journey. So, wow. I've perma smile. It's just amazing. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please comment below, questions below. I'm happy to answer them. Please subscribe. This is something new I'd like to try, is have you guys subscribe. I know it's all about views now, but it'd be fun to build a little more of a community here, and I hope you'll be part of it. So as always, I've got 2 days till the next one. So anything you post, I'll try to answer it when it's posted. But as always, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.